Hi, this is Phyllis. Wanted to tell you a story this evening under the hashtag Oracle Duties. When I was in South Africa, I went to Afrikaburn and met a brother who later invited me to get together with some other local Afrikaans and talk about opening up a portal. I went, I'm all game. It was on my wish list to open up a portal. Isn't it on yours? So we planned to meet at a particular time, and along the way I met another brother. Oh, he was interesting. I need to tell you that story too. And we get to the location, and we're in a parking lot. We're standing around. I'm getting chilly in my whites because it's not quite summer yet. Or no, it's heading toward winter there at the time. So I introduced myself and where I was from, and they were all ears. I was the only African American, but the only dark skin there. And just then quickly said, who I am, American, where I'm from, and what I've been doing, what I'm here to do. One woman spoke, a New Yorker. She said, well, we don't have a lot of time, so we need to get moving. And I said, well, wait a minute. Who are y'all? And they all went around and introduced themselves and gave me some really blasé. I had a hairdresser and a massage therapist. Not anything connecting with what are we talking about? Just everyday people, right? So I got quick and skinny, and she said, once again, we have a window opening between now and the next 20 minutes. I went, somebody's been paying attention to the time. And on the way in, we drove by. It was a rock. Think about the size of whatever bedroom you're in. Maybe a little bigger than that. That was the size of this rock. And we drove by this one small road, and it was described to me that they had tried to remove the rock to widen the road. And they realized it was more like an iceberg. It was just that which spoke out from a very large rock that they could not blast it out, and they tried. So they didn't expand the road. But right next to the road is what's called the First River, the Erstes, I believe it's pronounced. And it was beautiful. Beautiful. Just a nice stretch of road. And we drove back to this location where this rock and the water were right next to each other. And as I was sitting back in the back seat of one of the cars, there was a 16-kilogram Lumerian crystal sitting next to me. Kind of pink-hued, beautiful. It was coming with me to this thing as it was being explained to me. We wanted to open up a portal of abundance. I said, sounds good. Let's go. So off we go down the road, just 5 minutes down the road from the parking lot we were in. And we get out, and I'm handed the crystal. And I go to this rock, which is just not any striations or markings on it that made you really pay attention to it, other than it was just a big piece of rock. And I was handed the crystal and said, okay, open the portal. I went, oh my goodness. And everyone looks at me, and I look at everyone else, and no one says anything. So I just kind of stood there and looked up to the heavens and said, can anybody hear me? Anybody up there? Can you give me some advice of what to do next, please? And it was quiet. And then I hear, take off your shoes. I went, okay, yeah, can do that. Let's ground, let's connect. And oh my gosh, was that the most amazing feeling. That deep, rich, darkest brown, coffee-colored soil. And the green flashed against it, and my feet got to touch. And it was like, the best that the earth could give in a combination that was so rich and felt so good. I was just jonesing on the feeling. And then the crystal got heavy in my arms. And I'm holding it like a baby. So I'm like, okay, what do we do next? And I heard, anchor it. I went, oh, all right. So I squat down and pull back some of the grass to make a space. And then plop the baby in like it was a plug. Not quite a butt plug, but, something gentler, prettier. And held the crystal up in between this rock and the river. It was a sensation that felt like holding on to a rocket ship, not trying to leave the earth, but to enter the earth. And then I asked everyone who was standing by, come join me. We are in this together. And they did, and it was good. And I overheard the woman who owned the crystals say to another woman, I never saw anybody handle the crystal that way. I giggled to myself and went, I never handled a crystal this way. That's the only way I knew how. It was heavy. But I got up, we had coffee, everybody had tea, that's what they do in South Africa in the afternoon, and chit-chatted and relaxed and, got more stories, who they were and where they were from and what brought them to this work, to this understanding of what are we doing? How are we going to change our own planet? How are we going to heal it ourselves? What kind of high magic can we bring to the table? And what can we do? And we all had something to share, something to give, one small piece. And I'm reminded of a story I heard about galactics talking to us. It's like us trying to talk to ants. But this time, we're the ants. And we've got to figure out how to talk to them. And we make an effort, and we connect the dots, and we bring the portal openings naturally, not forced, not by gunpoint, not for greed, but to heal us all. And so it is. We heal ourselves. Enjoy the evening, y'all. I love you.